So we know Warner Brothers is working on new Mortal Kombat content. Of course, the video game, but not just that. Also, the live action. They're working on a new movie. And let's talk about the fact that it's going to be inspired by the MCU and why that's probably the best choice they could make. Okay, so when it comes to Mortal Kombat, many of you know I love it. It's one of my absolute favorite video game franchises of all time. Love them all, play them all, can't get enough of them. At the same time, it's easy to say that the stories can get a little convoluted depending on who wins, how it goes, specifically in those early games, multiple timelines, time travel, various things, different continuities with the films, the TV shows, the cartoons, comics. It's all over the place, right? So a lot of people can get confused. In interviews that we've seen before, and they've resurfaced now with some newer stuff, essentially what they've said is they're looking at the Mortal Kombat live action franchise and taking a lot of inspiration from Marvel Studios. And I've seen a lot of people get confused about that, and I'm like, why are you confused with a successful template? And let me try to kind of basically explain this to you guys in the best way I can. Essentially what he's saying is, no, we're not going to do an MCU movie. That's not what he's saying. He's saying is we're looking at what made the MCU successful. A smaller group of heroes coming together, doing this giant thing, and then doing their own thing. I think what he's saying is we're going to look for something that can kind of build up a movie like a phase one. So maybe you have only 3 or 4 main characters, right? And you kind of follow them and you meet them, and that's the main group of your like Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Jax, and Sonya, let's say, right? And then you have the bad guys there. And maybe then they meet Sub-Zero. And Sub-Zero could possibly do his own spin-off movie. Because what didn't work about Annihilation, the second of the Mortal Kombat movies, was the fact they just threw everything in without building it up. The first one worked for the exact reason, as I said right now, small group moving forward. And now with, more talented writers that understand the source material, and people that love these franchises, I think it's a lot easier. So making it like the MCU isn't a bad thing. It's a surefire thing to guarantee you a future. Because that's what everybody's trying to do, is copy the MCU. And some are succeeding, a lot aren't. Because they haven't figured out how to crack that mold yet.